Alright, so let's create those numbers here, and to model those out, that's easy to use the tool that's called the text tool. So go to create, and here is the text tool, so go to the options, and yeah, in here the text that we want to create is 60. Yeah, so type that in, and the font we are using, that's the font that I mentioned in the first video. That's the Microgrammar Medium Extended. So if you have that installed and you have Maya restarted, you should find that under the Fonts tab here. So click on that, and then we want to create a bevel. So select that, and with that selected, you have some options here. So try something like the bevel width here, like 0.04, the bevel depth 0.05, and the extrude distance to 0.1. And the rest, you can leave the rest on the default settings. So apply. Okay, so there you have the 60. So this is way too large, but yeah. First of all, let's fix a little problem with that font here. So you see this thing coming out here. I don't want that. I want this going down here straight. So let's fix that. Let's go to the front view. Zoom in on that 60 here, or especially on that 6. Hit 5 to go to shaded mode. Let me turn on wireframe with shaded. And with that, let me first select some vertices here. Let's select those. And let's move those in here. And then we take this edge loop here, shift select, take this one here, shift select this one, shift select this one, and then say delete edge. So don't hit delete on your keyboard, use the delete edge or vertex tool. You can find that under edit mesh. Let me have a look. Where is that? Down here. Delete edge vertex. So hit Control Shift and click on that, and you put that icon to your shelf like I did. So delete that. So now you have this kind of like a straight line. Yeah, let's come in and select those vertices here, and let's move those in just a little bit. Okay, and then what we can do is we can also delete this edge loop here. So delete that. And there you go. So this looks a little bit better to me. I mean, this is not the perfect font for that watch, but this is the font that I found that is coming close to what you see on that watch here. Okay, so if you have a font that fits better to what you see on the watch, you can take that. Feel free to use your own fonts. Okay, so with that piece of geometry, the 60 selected, I'm gonna center the pivot, and then I'm gonna hit X to snap to the grid and move that to the center of the grid. Let's go to the top view, and let's rotate that guy -90 degrees in X, and then let's bring it into its position, and you will see that this font is not perfect, but yeah, it works. Okay, so let's scale that guy down. So now, with that number scaled, we have to remember the scale here, because when we are creating new the other numbers, we have to scale them down, and if we scale those down with the same dimensions here, so that's 0.174, if we do that, we have the same size for all the rest of the numbers. And like I said before, this is not perfect, but yeah, it works. So I'm going with this one here. Okay, so now, yeah, let's leave it up here. So let's go in and say we want to create the next number here, which was let's start with the 40 and then the 20. Okay, let's go in and create the 40. Create, go to the text tool, go to the options and type in 40, hit apply, and yeah, the 40 looks good, so we don't have to tweak anything on that number. So now again, hit a center pivot, and again I want to bring this in the center by holding down X and move it to the center of the grid, and then again rotate that guy -90 and X, and then yeah, let's scale that guy down to the value that we just had, 0.174. So this should automatically have the same size as the 60. So we move it somewhere about here, so that it's almost on the same spot as the 60. And then we go in here and say we want to have the pivot of that 40 in the center of that piece here. And again, hit D and then V and middle mouse over that vertex here in the center. So now we have that pivot should be in the center of that piece. Let me check that out from the top view. And there you go. I mean, it's exactly on the center, and that's important. So now let's rotate that guy. And this should be exactly rotated in Y 60 degrees. So take a look from that perspective view. And there you go. And yeah, finally we do this with the last number on this part, the 20. So go in, create text, go to the options, type in 20, say apply. Okay, so with that object selected, center the pivot, rotate that guy -90 degrees in X, and scale that to the same amount, like 0.174. And then let's move this guy to the center of the grid, so we can go to the top view again, hold down X and move it here, and then again try to move it almost on the same position as our first number, the 60, somewhere about here. And then we do the same process again. So we change the pivot, we move it to the center of this piece here, hit D and V, middle mouse over that vertex, and this one is going to be rotated also in Y. Let's take a look from the top view. This should be something like this here, and this is exactly -60 degrees. Okay, so now we have the numbers for this part here. So let's go in and select all of those objects, and let's group those. Hit Control G to group those, and let's bring the pivot of that group again to the center here. Hit D and V and middle mouse over that, exactly over that vertex. D, V, middle mouse, and there you go. And now let's move the pivot also to the level of the middle of those numbers. So hit the D key, move it up a tiny bit in Y, and then V and middle mouse over one of those vertices on this line here. So now we can move those down. Let's go to the side view and bring those into the position where we put those little boxes here that we created earlier. Okay. So this is it for this video. So let me pause the video and I'll be back in the next one to finish this up.